It's 8 o'clock on the dot. Today was a great day at the office. We're telling some of our friends that we are about to go live. Tonight's guest is the great Gil from Frontier Dental. Super excited to have this guy on the show. Can't wait to get this going. So Instagram, let's do our job and let's be great tonight. 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Let's start waving at some of our friends. Everybody coming in. Gil, we're waiting for you to join us. This is episode 10 for everybody who's watching. So we've been doing this for 10 episodes now. I'm super excited to have this going. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I know you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Next, our guest Gil should be logging on at any moment. Let's go ahead and wave at this friend. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if any of you guys even really know what a dental lab is, but you are going to be blown away about the amazing features and dental work that goes on at Frontier. I know a lot of my doctor friends like Dr. Diaz, who just joined us. She for work, and be prepared to be wild. If you're not already following Gil, please follow him. He has joined us. The man, the myth, the legend. We're dressed alike. Welcome, Gil. How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Great to be here.
Great.
You wear it better, so I'm honored that you're wearing it.
Hey, according to my poll, I was winning by like 80%. I didn't think I was going to win by that much. But yeah. What about your poll? What did you get?
You wore it better.
Now, I wore it better.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes, you know.
That, we're wearing the same threads.
Hey, man, I'm glad that you felt that I could help and shine in your gear. So I'm super honored to be wearing it.
Yeah, we'll make you smile. And you've made me smile by being on your program tonight. This is cool.
Hey, it's been a long time in the making. You remember all those months ago when I asked you to be on the show, and look at us now. We finally made it. So, Gil, can you tell our audience a little bit about you? Who are you? What do you do? And why do you make us smile?
Okay. So my name is Gil Villavecer, but I think my alter ego is Gil Frontier Dental. I'm probably going to change my name because it's a lot easier for me. And I'm a partner in Frontier Dental Lab. We have labs across the country, Milwaukee, Northern California. I'm based in Southern California, and then also in Canada. So we can actually say international. We have a Canadian lab that serves there. But I'm very late to the social media game. I'm probably the oldest guy on the podcast right now. So I'm very late to the social media game. But we felt that there was a need a few years ago that we needed to touch more people and really bring exposure to the dental lab, both from the dentist side primarily, because that's where our clients are, and then also from the direct to consumer side. We want people out there knowing there is a difference. It was a little bit controversial. I actually had some opinions from those in my circle and some opinions from those who I work with. That is that something you want to do? I said, if we can help show that we're truly better for the patient and for the doctor, then I think it's going to be mission accomplished. So that was our goal in getting involved with social media. So I think I shared with you last week, I started out in 2018 with 34 followers and a couple of posts. Wow. And then it just kind of grew from there. We've had a lot of fun. My whole thing is to educate, entertain, make them laugh, make them cry. And it seems to work. And it's a full-time job. You know, my thumbs have calluses. I'll show you. So it's full-time.
It's a full-time. It's a full-time job, and you excel at it on a level that's like literally unbelievable. Like when I was talking to you last week, you told me you had no background really in social media, but you were in sales before. And
Correct.
So you translated those sales skills into social media. Can you talk about that a little bit and how that morphed into your dental lab?
When people ask me, how'd you get so good at Instagram? I said, it took me 20 years to become an overnight sensation on Instagram. And I'll even give you another one of my catchphrases when I give lectures. I didn't even know what Face Chat and Snapbook was at the time. And I thought a hashtag was something you smoked, you know? So I didn't know any of that stuff. I didn't have any accounts at all. And so what we said was, how do we touch people digitally, right? You've got your phone in your hand most of the day. how do we get you to stop on the super highway of scrolling, and how can we do it in a way that made it fun? We try to have fun with it, because if not, I didn't want to sell. I didn't just want to say, hey, Dr. Golden, here's veneers, they're on sale, buy one get one free or whatever. If you follow my posts, I haven't sold a thing. We don't sell anything. Maybe books and shirts from time to time, but that's not really the business that we're in. We're in the
Swag. Call it
we're in the
swag.
make you
Gil
successful
swag.
business. I'm trying to find one of my books here. So we do these, but really this is just a way to get you to be more successful as a dentist. So back to your question, that's kind of a long way to go about it. Back to your question is digital selling. I view it as social media is like a big giant cocktail party, right? Think of this stadium full. In our case, it's a world full of people. And which guy do you want to be at the cocktail party? Do you want to be the guy with the sign that says, hey, buy my stuff? Or do you want to be the guy that says, hey, Dr. Golden, that's a cool necklace you got going on there. Nice shirt. Hey, tell me about your practice. And check this out. I was with so-and-so last week. So those are the kind of things that we do to try to have a little bit of fun with what's going on.
Exactly, man. You get it. You get it. It's so natural for you with everything you've done. So let's transition into the dental lab.
Okay.
I have some people on here who've probably never heard of a dental lab, but can you kind of give a little explanation of what you do on a day-to-day basis at the lab and
Sure.
also your role in this lab?
Okay. So a dental lab could be anything from two guys, you and me, saying, come on, let's start a lab. And there's different ways to do that. Or it could be a large manufacturing facility with a warehouse full of people, et cetera. As a dentist, you have to feel comfortable with what kind of lab you want to work with. It's no different than the restaurant business. We can go to a diner across the street, or we can go to a chain of sit-down restaurants or a chain of fast food restaurants. It's really no different. Now, the lab itself, we're a manufacturing facility. Here's the difference. When we have to manufacture this dental instrument, we can manufacture 10,000 at a time, right?
Right.
Well, what we do is we manufacture glass. We manufacture the same thing 10,000 different ways. Each one is completely different. So you can see where the challenge falls. And then also there's so many variables from the time you take your impression, and by the time it comes to us, there's so many variables. The temperature, the mixing of the stone, the pouring of the model, the scanning of the model, the skill of the ceramist. There's so many steps. It's actually a miracle when we deliver 10 veneers that fit. I mean, we always cross our fingers, and we have a saying at the lab, we're only as good as our next case. So, we could do all this work for you, but you got your VIP patient there. We've got to deliver. And so, I'll show you in the book, because we kind of said, there we go. So there's our lab. That's the flags represent all the different nationalities. And then there's our facility. But, there's a lot of steps that goes into it, because every single of the 10,000 things we make is a unique one-off custom-made restoration.
And then right there is what makes your lab so unique. You guys are amazing at delivering that customized experience, whether it's from the beautiful restorations that you guys make, the veneers, the crowns, or the customer service. So for me personally, as a dentist, I need a lab that I can communicate with.
Yeah.
If I can't speak with you about a case, or I can't get somebody on the line, I can't work with you. And I like to also have somebody that is familiar. So if I'm dealing with you guys, my go-to person was Kat. So
Exactly.
I would text Kat. I would like, hey, Kat, we're doing this. Hey, Kat, this is what's going on. And we would have a constant conversation via text or email. And as a dentist, you need somebody like that. So how do you feel you are able to execute this so effortlessly?
It's not effortless, believe me. But what we try to do, we had to find what that sweet spot is of customer service and being able to support you, the dentists out there, because obviously we couldn't do our work without you guys. So we assign you with a smile designer, a technical consultant at the lab. So they're your single point of contact, go-to person. Think of them as the quarterback of your team. So you mentioned Kat. She may even be on. So she's the quarterback of your team. She takes your case, evaluates it, and then she hands it off to a running back. hands it off to whoever needs it, throws the pass to the wide receiver, which happens to be the ceramist, and then they take off from there. And then when they're done, they also are the QC. They know at the end of the day, how does Dr. Golden like his contacts? How does he like his occlusion? So much so that we have in your profile, what's the best way to communicate with you? Is it by text, which is the preferred way?
Yes.
On your way home from work and you're on East Coast time,
Yes.
they're available to you. So what we wanted it to feel like is, you hear the expression, my local lab, my lab guy. Even though we're bigger, we wanted you to feel like you've got a local lab right there, because it's one person that you can talk to about your case. You don't have to go through customer service or, a tech support team. Let's find it. It's one person and they handle your case.
Beautiful. And see, there you go again, just that special customized feeling.
Yeah.
So I already know what your favorite dental procedure is. So let's go ahead and just skip the pleasantries. Let's talk about veneers, because you deliver some amazing veneers from big cases like, and if you don't mind me saying, Cardi B, Kevin Durant, like these big celebrity cases. So like I was talking to my assistant Walea about this. We were discussing how Cardi B always wanted to fix her mouth. How amazing that the person that's fixing their mouth is Gil from Frontier Dental. Can you go ahead and flex on the audience a little bit and tell us about that?
I can tell you how that went.
Yeah.
Let me answer a question that we had before. What's my role at the lab? So I'm a partner of the lab. I view it, obviously, you're talking to an owner of the lab. Contrary to popular belief, I don't touch any of the crowns. You wouldn't want me to. We wouldn't be in business long. So my goal is to represent the lab. I'm the front person. And anytime a new doctor wants to think about using Frontier, I'm their first contact, period, end of story. Whether it's through direct messaging, email, text, phone call, all hours of the day or night. I've got a permanent fixture affixed to my phone here because it's pretty much here. So that's what I do. I represent the lab. And then from there, I connect you to the smile designers and so on and so forth. But I answer any questions that you have. So let's talk about Cardi B. I get a phone call, actually a direct message at 5 o'clock my time. Getting ready to go work out. I get this direct message, and Dr. Catrice Austin, the Queen of Smile, says, I've got a celebrity client. Can you turn it around by Friday? I said, well, why don't you give me a call? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because I need to know more about what this is. So she goes, well, it's for Cardi B. I'm in New York. She's in Los Angeles. You're in Southern California. We might either fly her there, me there. I mean, this was all up in the air, because remember, Cardi B's manager is texting her at 8 a.m., 5 a.m. California time. And the reason it had to be done by Friday, Saturday was the Grammy Awards. Saturday night was Clive Davis's big red carpet party. And then Sunday was the Grammy Awards. So we got it done. By 1 o'clock that afternoon, Dr. Austin was on a plane coming out to California. Cardi B shows up, nurse, bodyguards, the whole bit. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, she was so cool. And, some of the things she said is exactly what you would expect her to say on, on
television or one of her songs.
On her songs, yeah. So, funny story. I had to text my sons. They're my lifelines when it comes to stuff like this. I go, hey, do you know who this Cardi B person is? They're thinking about getting their veneers. I'm going to be with her for a couple of days to do all this stuff. And I guess she's pretty famous. I knew of her, but I didn't know just how famous she was, right? So it was a lot of fun. She was in the chair on Tuesday. We prepped her. It actually just started out at 6. It went to 10 and then went to 20. We did a 20-unit case, got it turned around had to have it delivered by Friday morning. And we actually even had my assistant from Sacramento hand delivered on the plane, so to give us more time Thursday night before getting it off to FedEx. So we still had till midnight on Thursday evening to get them down here. And then they had to go, right? Because the Grammy Awards are on Saturday. They had to go. We did it. And I don't know if I have a quick picture I can show, but I mean, she was rocking our smile, and it was beautiful. We were just thrilled that
she was able to, literally take it to the next level
with our smile. And,
amazing. And then Gil also has that picture on his Instagram page. Make sure you guys scroll through his page and see some of the amazing work they've done. But literally, her mouth is transformed. I know Cardi B from back in the days
Did you?
when she was on what, VH1.
Yeah.
So what you did to her teeth, you changed her life, my friend, and that is amazing.
Well,
So
here's an interesting story. Actually, it was just going to be 6, and then we said she's going to be on billboards. Let's widen that buccal corridor. She's going to have this big, beautiful smile, nice frame of the lips, and it worked out really nicely. So those are the kind of things from our experience of what we've done with not just celebrities, but everyday people, is to really to look at the whole person, not just, most people, they just see the teeth on an articulator on a model.
right.
We like to have a holistic approach where we see the person. A tip for you guys as dentists out there: give us a video of them saying their ABCs. Just a simple thing, like A, B, C, D, E, F. When they say their Fs, then we know they're in sisal position, and our ceramists have a better idea of how to design that smile specific to that person.
So let's talk about your ceramics, actually.
Okay.
So that's what, in my opinion, as a dentist, that's what sets your lab apart from a lot of the other labs. The beautiful work that your ceramists do. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
So a ceramist, and again, I'll reference the book. A ceramist, they have to. It's almost like paint by number. So you can see in this picture here, where you see the different colored porcelains. Those are put in precise places to get the effects that they want to achieve. So, for example, I wasn't prepared. If this was a tooth, we actually grind off. It's called cut back and layer, is a more civilized term. But we grind off the top, and then we start layering porcelain back on top of it that fuses onto that ceramic, the lithium disilicate, so that it comes across as a very nice, without any lines of demarcation. So if you look at this picture here, see all those effects that are underneath,
right?
That come from inside. You can't do that unless you build those up in a method like this. Okay, you can't get that effect just by staining and glazing the outside. And here's the part that sometimes people will say, hey, I'm only paying X amount and you're 1.5X. Well, you're not comparing apples to apples. You can take a veneer, it's monochromatic, one color that comes out of the pressing furnace, and we can stain the outside and call it an anterior veneer. And that gets done. And sometimes you can, it'll look fine, it'll be okay. But if you're doing that case and somebody's paying you a lot of money, it's not based on insurance, and they want it to look right, then this is the look that you're after. Is you can't get that characterization. See the translucency, the halos, the mamelons that are coming through. That's where our master ceramists have to put the exact placement, kind of like paint by numbers, of where they want things to be.
So when I tell my patients I'm going to use your lab, something I like to talk about it is, with these particular veneers or crowns, it's going to look perfect from every light, every angle. So it's basically just like your own natural teeth. And this ceramics is basically bringing your teeth back to life.
That's our goal, is to make it look natural. So here's, if we're doing a full arch, for example, one ceramist works on the whole thing. They do every unit from the first molar all the way to the front. The reason for that is it's the same artist making it, so it all looks harmonious. We wouldn't say, for example, have one production line make the 2 front teeth and then move it off to a different line where we mill it and external glaze it. If somebody's doing a full smile design case, that's where the artistry comes in. The other part of it is we've developed a training and technique at Frontier that we try to make the veneers look natural and not bulbous. If you see some people with bulbous veneers, there's a very simple reason for that. And that is the technician actually cheats in their favor to give themselves more room in order to layer in some of those effects. So you can't, here's a no prep veneer case, for example, that went from this to this. We hardly had any room, but we had to be able to do that. I mean, I got a really good picture to show here. She's a dentist that wanted no prep veneers. This is Dr. Monica Wheeler.
That's one of my good friends on Instagram. I love Dr. Monica. Her smile is all over the internet.
But look at that at the top. You'd say, okay, she's fine. But to go from there to there was an unbelievable difference. Look how it just lit up her whole face, right? So our ceramists had to individually hand layer each of these units in order to get them to look as a harmonious, natural smile.
And then let's say I have someone on this call and they don't know what a no prep veneer. Can you
Okay.
talk about the difference between no prep and prep veneers?
Sure. So a veneer, think of this as a tooth. If we did a no prep veneer, that means you're not shaving anything down at all. You might just score the surface a little bit for retention, but you're not shaving any tooth structure away. You have to have the right type of case for a no prep veneer. So now if you prescribe a no prep veneer, we basically make a veneer and we just put it right on. So think a veneer is like a laminate. You know, you're just putting it right on. It's extremely strong.
I tell my patients it's like a fingernail for a woman's fingernail.
It just goes on. It'll be, once it's bonded on, it's extremely strong. And so now what we have is no prep or minimal prep that just goes on. You're not shaving away tooth structure. The advantage of that is you don't have to wear temporaries because we're taking your existing smile. We're just maybe making a few little corrections on it. It has to be the right case for no prep. You know, you can't have a lot of angles. It can't be rounded. If it's square, smallish teeth, those are typically candidates for no prep. Minimal prep, you know, obviously you guys know what you're doing there. We can get away with minimal prep. And again, that comes with the skill of our technicians, that we don't need that much room to get the effect that you want.
And so I have a few dental students on this call.
Okay.
If you had to talk to these dental students and they're about to send a case to your lab, what would you want from them? How would you guide them so that, you know, they can jump over the eras of some of the other doctors that you've experienced in the past?
There's a misnomer, Dr. Golden, that people think I've got to be an accomplished cosmetic dentist to use Frontier Dental Lab, right? It couldn't be further from the truth, because we actually guide you every step of the way, whether you've been in practice 20 years, 1 year, whatever. In fact, one of my best clients I just saw yesterday, that happens to be the kid over my right shoulder there. He's been out of school for a year, and he uses this. Now, he kind of has to. That's my son, Mike. And, you know, so the misnomer is we'll guide you along the way. And so what you need, in fact, at the bottom of our prescription form, there's a checklist. Give us good photos, a bite stick registration. And really what that is, it's a blueprint. You know, start with the diagnostic wax up.
Right.
Don't skip that step. With the wax up, we give you the model of what we think the patient should look like based on our conversations. We'll give you a prep guide, a prep matrix, both lingual and facial, so you don't have to reduce as much as, you know, you don't have to over reduce.
Right.
And then we also give you a temporary matrix, and that's what the temps will look like. From there, it's actually, you can still work it from there. You want it a little bit shorter, just let us know what you want to do. So it's a repeatable formula for success that we have. Because we do so many big smile design cases involving veneers, we're pretty good at it. Our smile designers have a combined 120 years of experience. They're all old, you know, but their experiences, we said, how many, you know, my partner, Brent West, that runs the lab, we were calculating one day, he's probably seen over 100,000 smile design cases that passed through his hands and eyes, because he's seen all of our doctors coming through the lab. He's been there for 25 years. And so we just know what needs to be done. In fact, I was at a course with Dr. Ross Nash, he's a fellow in the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. He goes, work with a lab that gets it, because they just know what you have to do. They're there to help you. It's not just an ordinary case, single unit posterior. This is something that through our repeated protocols, we've been able to get this, you know, get it the way we need to help you out.
Exactly. And so you're helping making the doctor's life a little bit easier, because as a dentist, it gets real crazy. So
that's where we make you smile.
That's why you make us smile. Look at you. Look at you. So you were talking about the picture over your shoulder. We're going to go into dad mode over here. I see two young men that are doing very well for themselves. Can you tell a little story about your two sons and how one got into the dental profession and how one's in the medical profession?
Okay. So I'll make the long story short. So this guy here, the one with the stethoscope that's in medical school, he was actually going to be a dentist first. He was accepted to 6 dental schools, ranging from Tufts and NYU all the way to USC and UCLA. And then his brother here, was a mechanical engineer in the Navy testing weapons defense systems out in the Mojave Desert, right? But he'd come home every weekend. I could tell he wasn't happy being all the way out there and everything. So one day he said, hey, can you hook me up with some of your dentist friends? I'd love to shadow them and learn a little bit more about what they do. And I'm thinking, wow, this is great. I've got 2 kids that are going to pursue dentistry. Okay, most of you out there are probably younger than me. You know, in terms of parenting, I didn't tell them what to go into. I just said, you know, be successful, be the best you can be. So I thought, wow, this is great. 2 kids in dentistry. So I moved them in on Friday at USC, which you're very familiar with, Dr. Golden.
Right on.
Okay. So I moved them in on Friday I call it the Bellagio. I don't even forget what the name of the apartment was, but they were going to
USC gets a little fancy. You know, they like to call them the University of Spoiled Children, but USC can get fancy.
So I moved them into Bellagio. They had nicer towels and trash cans than I did at my house. Saturday night, I get a call from this one that's going into dental school. This one was taking post-baccalaureate courses to catch up because he was going to go into dentistry. Remember, he was going to go from engineering into dentistry, so he had to take post-bac. The one that's going into dental school calls me and says, I can't do it. I've got cold feet. I can't do it. Exactly. That's what I did, except for I put my arms out like I want to, right? So lesson to you guys, don't strangle your kids because they still might turn out okay.
Yes.
I said, you know what? Find yourself, find out what you're going to do. I just want you to be a good contributing member to this household and this society, right? So he goes and gets his master's degree in cell molecular biology, gets one of 10 Dean scholarships, and now he's at Tulane Medical School. So he'll graduate next year. He's a practicing dentist. He works with Dr. Soto in San Francisco. So life couldn't be better. I mean, for me, that's the most important thing that I've done is to be able to raise 2 kids. My wife and I are very proud of that. And I can pretty much drop the mic when I say I got 1 kid that's a doctor, 1 kid that's a dentist, right?
Yeah, proud dad moment. You literally need to get like a little badge. You don't have to say anything. Like I made it as a dad because I did this. So man.
We can drop the mic now. That's right.
Big, huge kudos, man. That is a big win as a dad, as a parent, and overall, that's just amazing. And something you left out in that story, when your son was about to start dental school, you, as the father, had to pay for that down payment for dental school. You mind sharing how much that down payment was?
So I have he's got an invoice somewhere in his room, right? Because remember, we traveled all across the country. We went to New York. And I had clients everywhere. So he just basically followed on my coattail, and we went everywhere, and New York, Boston, Louisville, Columbus, Ohio, all that. So we went to all those things, and then he got accepted to UCLA. So a deposit goes down to UCLA. 2 weeks later, USC calls, and he goes, hey, I really want to go to USC. Okay. They forego the deposit. You know, those are non-refundable, right?
None.
To USC. And then I put a deposit down at the Bellagio, for their apartment. This was on Friday, mind you. 24 hours later is when I get this call. And so I when all this went down and I didn't feel like I need to kill him anymore, I'm going to let you live, son. So I wrote an invoice of all the expenses that we incurred. I go, here, just file this away. You don't need to pay me at any given time, but I want you to be successful enough that you can remember this is what we went through to get to wherever you're at. So I'm sure one of these days he'll buy me a car or whatever, but I'm just glad that he found himself.
I hope he watches this episode coming from Dr. Golden. Help your dad out because he spent a lot of money on those deposits. You remember that when you're big time on a boat or something like that. Help your dad out because he dropped some cash for those deposits and he deserves a new car. There we go. New car for Gil. Hashtag.
I don't need the help, actually. You know what I need? I need them to be happy, successful, and contributors to society. That's all. I mean, if they can do that, that's all I need.
Nope. I want a picture of you with a car and a bow. I want to see that picture.
Okay, maybe a boat or a watch or something. Just some fun money. That's fine.
So we've been having a lot of fun. We're about to wrap this up. If any of you guys have any questions, please drop the questions in the comment section. Gil, I'm going to ask you a few more things, and then if we have any questions, we'll jump to that, and then we'll call it a night. Because me and you, we can do this all night.
We can do this a long time. I mean,
exactly.
This is really fun. Yeah.
So Here's a big thing, Gil. You wake up super early in the morning. I think you wake up, what, every morning at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard
Or
Time?
my alarm is set for 5. I've yet to have it wake me up. So 4:30, I'm up.
All right, so 4:30, you're up in the morning. What gets Gil out of the bed? What motivates you, Gil?
So here's what motivates me. What motivates me is the joy I get from people like you that recognizes the work we do, right? And it doesn't, you don't need to be a VIP top client. Even if it's a new client that decides to send us their first case, it's been unheard of in our industry where a doctor sends a 10-unit case from somebody that they've never met. So I like to think that we've revolutionized the dental lab dentist relationship, the dental lab industry, as far as working with doctors. So that motivates me because I feel like we've gotten such a head start, and maybe other labs have started copying what we've been doing, but I like to think we're the originals. We're the ones that went out there, and that motivates me to press on the accelerator even more in order to do the job that we've done, in order for us to make the doctors happy that have come on board the Frontier. I mean, look, you sent us your first case. We've never met, right? I
Exactly.
didn't come by your office to give a brochure. You've never seen a study model. You've never, nothing. We direct message. I sent you some information. You sent it back. I think we talked for a little bit.
Yep.
That's it.
And that was it. And the magic was born.
Who would ever think that that's the new way of doing things? And I feel, again, my legacy will be whenever I retire, is we created a way to touch doctors, to make them come to us to say, I'd love to use you guys, which is, again, unheard of.
Amazing.
But that motivates me. What also motivates me is just the fun that we're having. I mean, I get up in the morning, Dr. Golden, this doesn't feel like a job at all. I don't know if you saw my stories last week. I was with my kid in I was DJing, right?
Yeah.
DJing. I was on a boat with a beauty queen. I think I shared with you, I've been asked to judge a Miss Universe Cosmos, Miss America Cosmos pageant there in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm one of 7 judges. Who would ever think some guy playing on Instagram was going to be a judge for a international beauty competition? I mean, that just thrills me.
That's big time. That's big time, because that's the
Yeah.
impact that you've made on this community. And like you said, you have a lot of labs that are following in your footsteps, but you guys are trailblazers, and literally you guys have changed the game and killing it. I'm going to go ahead and read one of the questions.
Okay.
Gil, do you guys also do full arch dental implants?
We do. We're a full service lab on the fixed side. We do all on 4s. We just don't do any true removables, but we have implants. We do quite a few implants all on 4s. So
You don't like the conventional dentures? You don't mess around with those?
there's a couple reasons why. One, it's really hard to find denture techs, denture technicians. 2, there's a local nature to a denture lab, you know, with the relines and repairs and all that kind of thing. And because our clients started spreading out all across the country, it would have been difficult for us to service it properly. And, you know, we're going to stick with what we're good at.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yep.
So I see another question. They're asking, I guess this one's for me. How hard is it to enter dentistry without family support? It can be hard, but you have your family, you have your circle, your friends, whoever that's in your life, and if you use them to help motivate you and push you forward, anything is possible. Best thing you can do to get in the dental field is do the research. I would say if you can, shadow a local dentist or even slide into a dentist DMs. I've also told a lot of dental students and pre-dents, I'll be happy to answer any questions to help you out, but reach out to someone, do the research, see what the field is all about, because like Gil just told you, it's an investment. It is a huge investment, and so you need to know what you're getting yourself into. And then after you've done the research, start preparing, getting ready for the DAT, getting ready for dental school. Understand that it's going to be a sacrifice and it's going to be a journey, but it's well worth it. And one day you'll be like Gil, judging beauty contests and hanging out on yachts and DJing and hanging out with Cardi B and all of this stuff.
I don't know about that, but it is a noble profession. And, you know, in my own case with my sons, I was there to support them. the financial part that comes with anything, whatever you do. If you're going to open up a beauty salon, if you're going to open up a business, the nice thing with you is you can take your business, Dr. Joshua Golden, DDS, anywhere, right?
Right.
And so that's the investment part of it. And before you know it, you're going to be done. So it's a very good thing.
Exactly. Well, Gil, we've been hanging out for a while, and I know everyone needs to get to, dinner or homework or whatever they need to do to finish up their night. I want you to leave us with words of wisdom by the great Gil. What words of wisdom do you have for us?
That's too much pressure. I'll give you some of the, I'm very philosophical about things sometimes. And in fact, my son says, I learned so much just from hanging around you. And so I'll share with you a couple of philosophies and a couple of quotes, because that's probably something you'll remember, right? So the first one is somewhat sales related. And I like to say the two best times, I stole this, nothing original. That's another thing is there's no such thing as an original idea. It's taking somebody else's and making it better, making it your own, okay? Mm-hmm. So the two best times to plant a tree are 20 years ago and today. Figure it out. Whether you did it 20 years ago or you did it today, guess what? Tomorrow you planted that tree yesterday, and that's gonna happen. So that's one of them. Another one, and this is something that I've taught my sons and the people that are around me. The work is build your network, right? Your network of people, and give to your network before you ask from your network. So if I'm one of the students that just asked a question to you about shadowing and that kind of thing, give to your network. How can I help you? And then once that network is built, then you could say, do you mind, Dr. Golden, if I can shadow with you sometime and, help if you're doing something, some volunteer work, whatever that case might be. I think it's important to build your network. And really what we've done on Instagram is networking digitally through our phones. I mean, I've established such a big network that a beauty pageant in Florida that I had nothing to do with said, I'd like for you to be our judge. One of 5 or one of 7 judges to determine which of these ladies goes to Miss Universe. Pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nuts. And then when you're here in Florida, we need you to drive down just about 3 hours. Come see us in Sunrise. I know I would be super excited to meet you in person, and so would my team. Absolutely. So that we can hang out and get to know each other a little bit more. Also, I want to talk about our Lakers. We won last night.
We did. It's going to be fun.
We dominated. We're trying to go for back-to-back championships. Shout out to the Lakers. Gil's a huge Laker fan like me.
Very much so.
Amen.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us, Gil. I really appreciate you.
And if it was good and you want to do it again, I'm giving back to the network. So anytime.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you so much, man. You have a great evening. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a great night.
Okay. Take care.
Take care.